Well, hello again, everyone. This is Ted Schmidt, Action Coach Northwest, and we're here again with another one of our Business Spotlight podcasts. And today our guest is Austin Beaver, CEO of EXP Events. So welcome, Austin, and thank you for doing our podcast
Hey,
today.
Ted, thank you. Thanks for reaching out to me for this.
Awesome. Look forward to hearing what you have to say and some great business insights, I'm sure. Okay, well, let's jump right into the questions. First question for you. If you had to start from square one in business, what would you do differently?
I would, I would probably come into the game dreaming a lot bigger. That was a that was probably, I think, one of the things in the very, very beginning stages that I didn't consider. I came in thinking, gosh, it would be great to, you know, maybe just be able to have a certain amount of freedom or pay some bills uh, or make a few $1 million here or there. But as I have come to realize, you have to think really, really big because of slips that could happen along the way. So for me, it would be dream bigger.
Dream bigger. Love
Yeah.
it. I love it. That's good. That's good. I think we all have that problem at times that we don't dream big enough, right?
Yeah, and
Get caught in
it's
that.
just it's a creates a crazy set of, I don't know, hurdles for yourself, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. That's good. I like that. Okay. What have your biggest learnings been as an employer since you began in business?
I would say, gosh, the thing that I go to the most here is that it's probably the entire company and the people within it are limited by my thoughts and beliefs and actions. So if I am not evolving, growing, and changing as the company evolves, grows, and changes, it doesn't happen. There's no ship that has a really strong captain and crew if the captain isn't strong to start with. So I think
Yeah.
that's just sort of some universal truth in group dynamics. But
Yeah.
it's very, very clear to me that if I'm not growing, if I'm not learning, if I'm not kind of tackling things that I'm afraid of or uncomfortable with, nobody around me is going to do that. So
Wow. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I see that a lot where the owner stops growing and then the business stops growing because you got to stay out in front of it. Yeah. No, that's a great point. Great point. What are some common misconceptions about running a business and how do you address them?
Oh man. Well, there's a few. I think the one when I'm sharing with people what I do that are employees, especially, or haven't ever been self-employed. There's this there are or people that are sort of new to being an entrepreneur. It's around freedom. There's this tendency to think that uh, we can take all the time off in the world we want. Everybody gets to go fishing at any point. Uh, and I think there's I think there's a misunderstanding that we have more control of our choices, but freedom is kind of a perception. It's you have as much freedom as you determine that you have. So if my freedom for me is the ability to tackle any problem that I want or put my attention where I want to at any one given time. And I think that's, as an entrepreneur, you get to do that. But it doesn't translate into the definition of freedom that I think a lot of people that aren't in this have. So,
Yeah.
so I'd say that the misconception is that there's freedom, and the truth is that it's probably just more control of choices for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Freedom is when you're laying awake at night wondering how you're going to make payroll, things like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. Hey man, trying to get a hold of freedom's like trying to grab air. It's
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
it's a it's so something that you create in your mind as
Yeah.
opposed to being something physical and tangible for us.
Yeah. That's great. No, it is. I think a lot of people think that business owners just they got it made. It's all just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and it is I love that quote that says an entrepreneur is somebody that will give up a 40-hour work week so he can work 80 hours or
yeah.
whatever it is.
Well, it's really 24/7 if you think about it.
Yeah, true, true.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What do you attribute your growth to?
Hmm. Um, For me, I would say so. There were a period of time early on for me where I just kind of took everything as it came. Like I didn't study a lot. I didn't have any coaches or anyone around me that could help influence my growth.
Mm-hmm.
And that was this period of time in the beginning where I was stunted, is a good way to say it. Since then, I probably got 3 or 4 different business books going at different chapters and a bunch that are stacked up on a shelf that I'll flip back to just go reread a quick little passage. I'm constantly learning. I absolutely love my TikTok feed. Anybody that thinks social media is bad for you or the devil doesn't know how to curate the information that's coming in from it. My TikTok feed is something that I look at all the time, and I get some amazing advice from entrepreneurs and coaches that want to put that out into the world. And then, so there's the learning part. And then the other thing that I found a little bit later on in my path was coaching. I didn't really have I didn't come from a family that thought about self-employment. They were very blue collar.
Mm-hmm.
Born into a mom and dad that were on food stamps at the time, and there wasn't a platform or a background of understanding what it took to progress in a way that would make my life more successful. Or when I decided I wanted to be self-employed, there wasn't a I guess a foundation for me to work from. And I didn't look for the things that make for a good foundation. So
Mm.
so I was kind of bootstrapping it mentally, as far as what I had to learn as I went along. And then in my path, I was introduced to some coaches and coaching, and gosh, I that was a big game changer for me to be able to sit and have conversations with people that had been through it before and could share knowledge. And what's interesting, it's not great coaches don't always give you the answer, because
Mm.
ultimately they're not actually in your ship. They're sitting on the shore and talking to you through a radio, and your
Yeah.
job is to take care of the crew and drive the ship. But what I find happens is, if they don't directly tell me what I need to hear from them, I'll get clues and nuggets, and my brain will start to spin and work in ways that I never got it to go when I was hanging out with people that were, they had normal, average, everyday people jobs. Those conversations were never around, the struggles I was going through and the problem solving that I had to get done. So I absolutely think that you should look for coaching or consulting or advice in some way from a qualified source.
Wow, that's music to my ears. I like to hear
You
that.
didn't, just so everybody knows, we didn't even discuss this.
No,
So
we did not
I'm
discuss
not
this,
your
but
shill.
I didn't even know you had a coach. So that's
Yeah.
really good. No, I love that. So what if you had to recommend a business book, what book would you recommend? You brought up books there.
Ooh. The gap in the gain is one that I go to a lot. Uh, it really helps reset my mind to recognizing how far we have come, the team has come, and not just focusing on how much further we have to go.
Yeah.
But gap and gain is a great one. 10x. I think it's written by the same author. And forgive me because I don't, off the top of my mind, have that book nearby.
Well, everybody has the internet. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, and the uh, I think it was 10x is easier than 2x. But the mindset of bigger and thinking bigger, both of those books written by the same author were just chocked full of great advice and digestible for me too. So,
Yeah, excellent. Thank you for that. Okay.
hmm.
All right. How do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business? We kind of talked about this a little bit already. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty fortunate now to be in a space where I'm around some pretty successful entrepreneurs. And those folks that I get to associate with, we all kind of share a similar mindset, I guess. Or, when I talk to them about their free time and their vacations, and we all sort of seem to handle it the same way, which is I'm gonna state it like this, but in a employee world, you tend to think about work-life balance. And in an entrepreneurial world, it's all just life. And it is because of what you alluded to earlier, which is we're on 24/7. I mean, we're
Yeah.
it. There's if there isn't anybody else calling in the cavalry if there's an issue, that's us. We are the cavalry. So
Right.
if it's at midnight and a thing happens, or if it's right in the middle of the workday before you're about to walk out to go to maybe a kid's soccer game or whatever, you are stuck in those spots where you have to make those decisions. And if you look at it from my perspective, if you look at it like you're isolating life over here and work over here, that works very well when you have the ability to say that you don't like the boundaries your current job or employer is giving you, so you're just going to go find a new one.
Hmm.
You take that piece or actually that entire equation out whenever you become an entrepreneur. There is
Yeah.
no other employer. There's no other place to go. So the mindset's really, really different. Um, and there is that, I've got a daughter who just graduated high school this year, and she's going off to college. But for years, she was heavily involved in dance, and dance was a big thing for her. And me being in her life was a big thing for her and me. So,
Yeah.
especially as she got closer to graduation of high school, where I know she's going to go away for a while, I was
Right.
making real efforts to give time to being at some of those key moments in her life too. But early on, yeah, listen, I had to make the decision that she's 4 and 5 years old, and I'm not going to be able to be there for everything, and I'm working on building the business at that time. And I feel like different phases in your life, you start to adjust where you put your energies and your focus between things that are not work related and things that are focused on your, whatever you do as a profession. And
Yeah.
it's just not hard lines. It's almost like moving your energy from one place to another as
Yeah.
needed. So that's
Yeah.
how I look at it.
It is interesting. I often talk about being an entrepreneur or a business owner it's not a job, it's a lifestyle.
Oh man, so much so, and it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting because once you get into it, you don't have a choice. Like
No,
there's no.
like I say, it's hard to quit. It's hard to quit and go to a different job.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. What qualities do you look for in employees and how do you foster a positive and productive work environment?
Mm. Um. Well, I'll share with you whenever I'm hiring how I guess the thought process I go through. So I am trying to create a team of people that are chock full of A players. To start with, I know that not every role or seat needs an A player or A player mentality, but the majority of them do, or that's what I want out of the majority of them. An A player is that they're accountable, they're driven, they're curious, they have all of these components and traits. If you ever wanted to search for A player traits, you'll come up with probably 6 or 7 or 8 of them. In interview, that's what I look for first, and then I look for like skill set or experiences that might have come. So my focus really is on the culture first, but it's culture in a way where I know I want this style of person to be at the table. I want to be able to feel like I would work for anybody that I hired. And for me to do that, I've got to respect how they work. Um, when you start hiring for A players, they very quickly get burnt out of people that are not A players because they feel like, well, this person isn't carrying their load. This person isn't doing their part. They're not contributing. So anyway, I would say that in the hiring process, that's first step for me. I look for that before I look for what the experience level was with somebody, and maybe what school they came from or what they have in their past work history. Then, as far as maintaining the culture, I think it's really important to foster a place that has healthy conflict in it. and also know how to relieve that for your team. So we work in a creative space. Everybody has a voice. Oftentimes people feel very strongly about their opinions on things, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's conflict that happens within that. My job is not to squash the conflict. It's to make sure that everybody maintains a certain level of respect whenever they're having those communications with each other, which honestly, with A players, if that's not hard to do, they like
No.
being around each other. So then that moves to how do we relieve any pressures that might come from the conflict. And I will say one of the things that we have done from the very beginning is a thing called gratitude, which we do for a half an hour every week. We do it right before one major all company meeting, and we take a moment, and you can break your people up into teams, so there's maybe no more than 10 folks in any one group, but have them go around and share three things that they are grateful for within their work, and then one thing personally if they want to. But that ability for people to share how they're grateful for others on the team and actually humanize them, it works wonders. It's just been great. It's been a really good way for us to keep a nice, tight bond with everyone. What I love seeing, which happens pretty often, is when two people are in conflict, at gratitude, they'll call each other out and thank each other for something. Maybe it's unrelated, but it's that idea that they become open and vulnerable just for a moment with each other. It's not too woo woo, it doesn't go too deep. And we can move through it pretty quickly, but it's part of our culture, and it has been for a really long time, and it's worked really well for us.
Yeah, I love that. Nobody's ever said that before. That's good. I like
Yeah,
that.
I like
Very
it.
good.
It works out really well.
Yeah, and I love your thing about I would need to would I want to work for this person if if I hire them, it needs to be somebody I would want to work for before
Yeah.
I hire. I love that. That's fascinating. That's really good. Really good. Okay. Wow, we're sailing through. Okay, two
All right.
questions. Second to last. What question should I be asking you that I haven't?
Mm. Is Who is self-employment good for?
Ooh,
And I would say it's not good for most people. In fact, it's probably not good for most people that are in it, which is why the failure rate is so high. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it is. Look, this isn't easy, and you have to get away from easy and hard when you get into this lifestyle. It is just straight up solving puzzles all day long, every day, and that's all you're doing. Um, as the business grows and the company grows, if you liked doing the thing that was the end product, you're going to be limited in that. So you have to fall in love with the chess game and playing the game. And I think that for me, I love the world of events. I always have. It's like drinking the Kool-Aid for a lot of us. Once you get into it, you don't want to leave it. And there's a lot of people that are great freelancers and contractors, and then
Mhm.
they try to turn into true self-employed people, meaning that they develop a staff and a product or service and things like that. I would really encourage folks to consider whether or not this lifestyle is the right fit for them before they take the shot. I'm not the guy in this situation that's going to say, "Hey, go for it. Everybody should try it. What do you have to lose? You might love it." Just because I know the hurdles I had to get over in my life and how I really think that uh, in some ways the lack of encouragement and the part where there wasn't a lot of support, to be straight with you, that helped me later on in life a lot. So I would say that this isn't the right fit for everyone. And if you're considering being self-employed, or if you're in the middle of it now and it's not working, yeah, figure out if you need to get out.
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of ass backwards compared to the philosophy of, everybody could step in, and it's a world full of riches and dreams and that whole thing. And then there's the cold reality that for the amount of people that start a business today and who's left in just 3 years, which is
Yeah.
a short period of time, it's few and far between.
Oh, it is, it's interesting you say that because I have actually had clients that have started coaching that, we've gotten into it for a few months and they've actually figured out that they don't want to be a business owner
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
And
And they would make, so just to share, I
yeah,
I look for those people that had had a little bit of self-employment in them. They're so great in our organization, and I love that. And I actually think that they can make great executive level people because
yeah,
they want to be solving the problems, but there's maybe something in there that isn't the right fit for them to hold on to the steering wheel.
yeah.
So you've got to yeah, you got to kind of figure yourself out there.
So this will probably date me, but and one of the partners when I first started in business, he said there's a big difference between signing the front of the check and signing the back of the check.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great
So
way to say it.
it's a different way to do it. So, okay, last question. Where
Yeah.
do you see yourself in 5 years? And any words of advice for other owners, business owners who are looking to grow their business?
I'm still doing this in 5 years, I think. I mean, part of thinking bigger and down the line is considering exit stuff too. Um, but I still have that mindset that exit would be nice, but really I'm loving this. I really, really enjoy what I do. Right now, I love watching other people grow in an environment, in an industry that I fell in love with a long time ago. And
Mm-hmm.
that for me is a big, like, I don't know. I get a lot out of that. So 5 years, I think we are, I don't know, maybe three times the size, and we're doing this on a larger scale, and we have gotten past all of today's problems and ironed out all of today's wrinkles, and we're working on the 5 year problems and the 5 year
Yeah.
wrinkles.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm good here. Like I love what we're doing, and I really like my life and the
Excellent.
lifestyle that I have. And it's always changing. Like there's nothing here that makes me think I'm going to get bored anytime soon. So
Yeah.
that's it. Kind of just doing more of the same on a bigger scale and having more fun, taking more vacations and better vacations, spending more time with the family, doing more at work, somehow spending more time doing what I love at work. So
Yeah.
yeah, just a
Well,
growth. Um,
congratulations on that, right? Yeah.
Thanks. What was the last part of the question that you asked?
Other advice for business owners who are looking to grow their business.
Oh, yeah. I back to the very first question, that idea of dreaming bigger. Okay, so just to share, the reason I think dreaming bigger was something that I missed in the beginning had to do with maybe not always hitting that top end goal. So when I started, it was I just wanted to figure out how to make a better living than I could if I was an employee somewhere. And
Mm,
and that then turned into, gosh, I wonder if I can make $1 million doing this someday. And then that grew from there and grew from there. Now I realize that having really, really big dreams are important in a lot of ways because, first of all, it helps remove a lot of mental hurdles for the time that you're in right now. The other thing is, if you slip to a place that you are still shocked you could have gotten to. So
mm,
if you are in a space where you have a business and what you really want out of the business is two, three, four, $500,000 a year, but you want four 4 day weekends and you want all of the freedom, but really you're hoping that you're making just enough to cover your bills and then give you a lot of free time. You have set the bar at survival. And then the question is,
mm.
what happens when you slip? If you slip at survival, now you can't pay your bills. Now you have no free time. Now you're not making it. However, if you set the bar at 10 million and you slip and only do five, and all of your bills are paid for, you still have your vacation, you've got people that can help take a lot of pressure and work off of you, your slip is fine. You can miss your goal and you're still very successful and happy that you got there. So
Yeah.
that would be, I guess that would be the one thing that I would share.
Great advice. Great advice. I'm going to steal that.
Do it.
That's really good. That's
Yeah, and
really
I
good.
think it's 10x is better than 2x. And that was,
Yeah.
that philosophy behind that book really got me thinking around a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
so the sister book to it, which is The Gap in the Game. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome advice. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, all right. Well done today. So Austin Beaver, CEO of EXP Events, thank you so much for being our guest today. And I know I got a great page of notes, and I think everybody else probably did too. So thank you very much.
All right. Nice to meet you. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You bet.